Welcome. Aimee.
Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on. So the way we start every episode is with the same question. What's your biggest for fuck's sake moment in business?
I don't know if I've had a particular one. I think maybe starting the business and realising that I was actually going ahead with it was probably my biggest one. And losing sleep if it was going to work or if I was going to be successful, how that was going to look if I wasn't successful. So I think that was the biggest one. And then I guess like little small ones that I've had, customer scenarios and that you have, small ones where you think that. I had one customer send me an email by mistake saying that I was a pain in the ass. And I was like, for fuck's sake. Oh, no. They apologised very quickly.
Well, at least we're being candid. I hate you too.
That's right. I was like, wow, okay.
You're also a pain in my ass. Bye.
Yeah, right.
Should we just go our separate ways?
Literally. But, I guess you look at it from a business perspective and, sometimes I might say to my partner, oh, that person's a pain in the ass or whatever. Doesn't mean that I don't want to work with them or whatever. We can just get frustrated. But I guess as a business owner, you've got to look at that and, maybe look at what you've done differently and or what could have you done differently from there. But
so good.
Yeah.
Shelb's
just imagining that I received that email from.
Yeah. You're like, all right then, you're done.
Yeah. Blacklist, bye.
It took me a while to try not to reply back and be angry and, write something nasty back. But, you've got to be professional too. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good.
On your website bio, you mentioned that you started your first job in banking roughly 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I worked that out, ChatGPT. Thank you.
Oh, yep, cool. I was like, wait, how old am I?
No, I did my sums.
Yeah.
What jobs did you have other jobs prior to this? And was there like a moment that you were like, I want to pursue banking or finance?
No, I hate maths and I hate numbers.
So it's like a weird group.
No, I know, right? Everyone says that. They're like, well, you must really love numbers. Must seem like really boring. But no, hate it. So I worked at the Ice Creamery in Bateman's Bay. Yep, video easy. So I know, yep.
Oh, those
I actually can still picture where that building is.
I know.
Wasn't it
crazy?
So much fun?
Yeah,
They were the best days.
On like a Friday night, going picking a movie.
Yeah, and like you're allowed like two.
And maybe some Maltesers.
Oh, maybe.
But school holidays, I'd have the $7 for 7 or whatever, and your parents would let you go and pick 7 and you would just bulk watch them all holidays.
Like whatever they want
Yeah.
to watch at their fingertips.
Yeah, so no.
You just watch the same disco. Or if you got one and you got it home and it had like a scratch on it.
Oh, and it would skip.
And you're like, oh,
so cranky.
Yeah.
So cranky.
Yeah, so no, and then I worked at Super A. I was the assistant manager at Super A when it opened in Bateman's Bay.
Wow.
Yeah. So not the banking career, but I'd finished school and, we had the university come to Bateman's Bay and they only had a couple to pick from. So it was like commerce, I think it was business, admin and school teaching. It just made sense to go and I started the commerce degree and hated it because it was numbers and maths and I didn't really love it. And I was like, I don't really want to do this. Maybe I'll do something creative, do art or something. And Dad's like, no, you should really be doing numbers and you've got to have a good job and all those type of things. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I thought I'll just randomly apply for the bank. So that's how it came across. I dropped out of uni and went to the bank instead.
Yeah, oh, so good. Which bank was it?
Westpac.
Yeah, cool.
And ironically, I thought I was applying for Bateman's Bay and they rang me and they're like, oh, so we've got a job for you. It is Wollongong. Like, that's not too far for you to travel. I'm like, it's actually 2.5 hours from where I live. So, I decided maybe I'll do a sea change. And I said, do you have one on the Gold Coast? And they're like, well, actually, we do.
Oh, my goodness.
So I moved up, and started my first job at Westpac on the Gold Coast.
Oh, how long were you with them?
Well, I was with Westpac. I've been back and forth with them a couple of times, but the first stint I was on the Gold Coast for 2 years with them, and then I got offered a job back in Bateman's Bay with Westpac. So moved back and came back to the Bay for a while. Yep.
So during the time you spent majority of the time writing loans, What made you decide to go out on your own?
I think because, look, there's limitations with working for a bank and especially a big institution. So even when I started, social media wasn't a big thing when I was 21. And as things got bigger, I was like, look, we should market or do it this way. I would want to put myself out, and get clients this way. And they'd say, no, compliantly, we can't do that, or you can't say this. So it was really hard. Yeah. And then, look, I changed around with different lenders and they've all got different risk appetites. So, they sometimes might not love self-employed, or they might not like, doing a particular type of lending. So it got to the point where I was starting to actually refer clients out to brokers.
Yeah.
And I was like, hang on. And then from the bank, I was getting pressure like, well, why are you not writing all this business? These are your targets. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you what I think we should do in marketing and bringing business in. I'm telling you that this is a deal. We should be writing it. And you guys don't want to do it. I'm kind of stuck here.
Yeah.
So
you can't make something happen that won't happen.
And if they don't want it to happen, there's only so much that I can do.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of pressure, and they're like, okay, well, how come you're not writing these big numbers? And I'm like, I don't actually think it's me. I think it's you. And they were like, no, we think it's you. So I was like, okay, well, see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Literally, my partner, I had a really hard conversation. My partner came home, I was crying, and he's like, what is going on? Like, the bank just told me that maybe lending's not the right job for me. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's all I've ever done. Like, since I was 21, like, how can someone say this to me?
Yeah.
He's like, no, leave him. Get out of there. You're going to start your own business. And I'm like, how? We have no money. We are not organised. We're not planned for this. He's like, you'll do it. You'll do it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
in the bank, like, I know you've got to have a license to be a broker.
Yep.
Do you need that same license in the bank?
No, I think you fall under their accreditations as such, or their, I guess, compliance requirements, which is why you've got to be so careful with what you can and can't do. So, like, I totally get it. They're a huge organisation. They can't watch everyone with what they're putting on social media. So definitely a different type of, I guess, accreditation that you need when you do go out on your own.
Yeah. So you would have had to get that, like, before you could start your business, hey? Like,
well, the good thing is I'd already started my certificate. So I was already one certificate down when I started. So I just decided to do my diploma as well. And then
kind of got things in motion already.
Well, I didn't really expect it. I think I did my certificate 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. But it was good because I had all the, I guess, previous learning. They recognised a lot of that. So it was really quick for me to kind of jump in and start.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand the difference. So if you could explain it to us, what's the difference between a broker and a bank?
I guess the biggest thing is really choice, because you go into a bank, this is their policy, these are their rates, they're not going to... Look, they still might work in your best interest to a degree, but not from a position of, okay, this is the most, favourable lender to give you a maximum borrowing capacity. This is not the most favourable rate. We have to compliantly show that we've worked in your best interest, where the banks don't have that compliance that they need to kind of meet. So I'd say choice is the biggest thing. And now, I guess, for me, it's relationships, because now what can happen is I had people that were coming back to me and I'd say, we've kind of maxed what you can do with this bank. So then they'd go somewhere else, where now I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we've been 2 years with this bank. It's not working for you. Let's go to the next one. So it's a lifetime connection. They can stay with me and, forever, really.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think a lot of people have a misconception that it costs them a lot of money to use a broker.
Yeah, so look, I mean, brokers can charge fees. They've got to provide you with a quote and tell you what that fee is going to be. And a lot of people don't realise as well, like, we could do a lot of work and then if it doesn't go ahead, we don't get paid. And the other thing people don't realise is brokers have clawbacks, which means that if you leave within the first 12 months, any money we've been paid, we've got to pay it back.
Really?
Yeah. So that can be hard, and sometimes brokers will charge fee because of their time or the complexity around it. But you don't see a lot of brokers doing it. And the brokers that do charge the fees are normally doing the really complex type of files that are going to take them, 30 hours of work, and they want to be guaranteed guaranteed, but overall we don't, yeah, exactly. If you're doing that work.
No, work for free.
I know.
Yeah.
But people don't understand, and as I said, there's a bit of a misconception there. But most of the time they don't charge fees. We don't charge fees. We are just kind of happy to help with the client. It's just part of the, I guess, role or industry that they won't see it, but be prepared. You could possibly get one.
But you'll be warned.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And you get to then decide, is it someone that I value that's going to do a good enough job that I want to pay for that time and for that experience? Or am I happy just to, pick up the phone and go with someone random or whatever that I don't maybe trust? But yeah, they'll tell you beforehand.
Yeah. And with, obviously you said before, you don't like maths. So what part of the job do you like?
Yeah. And it's so weird.
You're doing all this work in maths. Does this chick hate her job?
No, I love my job.
You're glowing right now. You obviously love your job.
I do.
And actually, I can speak from personal experience. She's fucking good at her job.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess people don't realise that, being a broker is a relationship business.
Yeah.
And I talked before about wanting to be creative.
Yeah.
That's what I do as a broker. When I go to the bank doesn't know you, or that lender doesn't know you. So I get to sell a story. I get to understand you and your financial position enough to get someone to say, yeah, we'll give them money.
Yeah.
Because I don't make the decision.
Yeah.
But I have to present it to the bank. So I love getting to know people, understanding what are your goals? What do you want to do? How do we kind of do that? Yes, I've got to make sure the numbers work, but predominantly I'm putting together a case to say we should give this person money to get what they want to do. And for me, that's more being creative, and that's more, understanding clients and problem solving. Yeah, 100%. And I love that. I love a challenge. And, I do residential, so mostly home loans. But previous to that, when I was down the Bay, I did a bit of commercial and business banking. And the bank that I used to do business banking for used to do up to $1 million loans, no security.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Where are they gone?
Crazy. I know, right? Well, it's going back for a while. Yeah. So I had one.
They needed security.
Exactly. Times have changed. And they had a oyster lease. And I went and I learned about oysters, and, they weren't going to have the cash flow for 3 years because that's apparently how long the oyster took to develop. And I had to learn all that to present it to the bank. So it wasn't just a number. It was really understanding the client to be able to present that and get it approved.
Yeah,
I also don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that I could text the bank at 9 o'clock at night saying, hey, Aimee, this property's come up. I really want to know if I can maybe swindle some numbers to make this work.
No.
She's like, no, you can't, bugger. Can we make something work?
I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? What are you doing? My partner's like, it's 9 o'clock. Get off the phone. I'm like, yeah, but Emily just messaged me. She's found a really good property. We need to get on it.
I've just maxed out my borrowing capacity, but a week later, can we make this work?
Yeah, I'm like, leave it with me. Yeah, literally.
Leave it with me. Babe.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think my bank would like that. Or
no,
they wouldn't give me a number to text.
No, that's exactly right. So relationship. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I find that with a lot of business owners, hey, it's not necessarily about the work you do, it's about the people that you're involved with.
100%.
That's really me as well.
Yeah. You do business with people you like.
Yeah. Oh, so cute. Snuggly.
Oh, good.
I'm like, do I need to remortgage my
house? That's right. I need a broker. I need Aimee right now.
Right, Aimee.
Aimee gets...
Let me just ask a few personal questions. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So don't worry about these.
Let's just cut for a bit. We'll go through into that.
No, but Aimee's gotten heaps of really good loans for some of my clients too that have been a bit iffy with their other broker or bank
options.
With their other options.
That would be such a rewarding job, right? When you get that over the line. I'm imagining
first home buyers.
And most of my market is first home buyers because of the relationships. I love it. They take a bit more work because you do a lot of hand holding and, it's a completely new process for them. But I've had people on the phone crying. Oh. Yeah. And then I'm trying not to cry because I'm a very emotional person.
I think because it's such a hard thing to do now, right?
Yeah.
Like it is, owning your own home is like, you know, it's always been like the Australian dream, but like it's becoming further and further out of reach for people.
Well, like when you think about it, like $1 million now is
doesn't really get
not
you.
that much.
No.
Like it's a rephrase
lot.
that. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But what it gets you is not much.
Yeah, potentially.
So you like think about that. I mean, I just think about trying to get into the market now. I'm like,
I think it depends where you are.
Yeah.
Like if you're willing to go to like, you know, we drove
somewhere out,
through Central West New South Wales over the holidays, and there was a house and land, and it was $110,000.
No.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, oh my God, like that's some people's deposit.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Yeah.
houses where that's not even the full deposit.
Totally. Yeah. Why do you think so many people just go straight to their bank?
Probably because that's what we used to always do.
Yeah, okay.
And brokers used to have a really bad rap.
Did they?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
The best interest duty came in a couple of years ago, but before that, they didn't have to kind of say why they were recommending someone. And because we are commission-based, we get paid on what we write, people were like, okay, well, maybe they just put it through this bank because they were going to get more commission.
So there'd be like backdoor deals, like
Well, that's what, yeah.
That's
And
what
I
the
can't.
perception was.
Correct, yeah. And I don't really know how the commission structure worked at that point, whether there were banks that were paying significant amounts more than others, but at the moment, they're all pretty much the same. So, I mean, I don't even look at it. I really just say to the client, well, you know, what do you want to achieve? Here's my options of what I think is going to work for you. Pick, and then you just get paid. Don't really think about it. But that was different maybe back then. So a lot of people didn't like brokers for that reason, where now it's a compliance thing. We have to show you that we've worked in your best interest. We've got to document it. You've got to sign to say, yep, that is exactly right. But, you know, I guess back in the day, you know, people would go, it'd be a handshake with the bank manager. You want 500,000, here you go, shake the hand, thanks very much. So people just thought I have those relationships with my bank.
Yeah.
When now you pay a loyalty tax. So it's like, okay, well, you know, maybe you're loyal to that bank, but is it the best bank for you? So people are like, yep, cool.
The bank doesn't have your best interest.
No.
They're just working for themselves.
That's right. And I'm not saying that the staff or the people that are working in there, you know what I mean? But
that's their job.
correct, but the banks, you know, they need to make money.
Yeah.
They're not-for-profit business. They need to make money. So,
a lot.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So they should care a bit more.
Exactly. But that's why I think it's like 78% or 79% of, you know, business now is going through brokers.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Massive.
And so your business growth personally, since starting your business to today, like, you know, week one, how many patients? That's me.
Clients.
Hopefully no patients in your situation.
Yeah, no.
I saw 5 people in hospital. How many clients did you have, and like what's your regular week look like now?
So I've been now for about 2.5 years. The good thing was because I'd been in lending for so long, as soon as I was like, look, I'm going to be a broker, I had people being like, yeah, we're going to use you. Like, we know that you're good. We know that this is what you've been doing. So I was quite lucky that I didn't have to. I mean, I built it from the start, but I already had people that knew, or I had already built trust with people. So that was good. And I guess with the cycle of, you know, an appointment and talking to someone, by the time we have that conversation, you get approval, you find a property, or the pre-approval, you then get approval, then you've got settlement. For us, it can take 6 months before we even get paid. So the first part of it's really hard because, kids are eating 2-minute noodles. No, not really. But we were like, if worse comes to worse, kids can still eat 2-minute noodles. But
They'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. When now I've built a team, or starting to build a team. So there is 2 of us, or 2 other people now in the team, which is great. Which if you said to me when I started, you're going to have a team, I was like, no. I just need to write loans, pay my bills, you know, whatever. I'm not here to make this massive business. And, you know, I was happy just to get my salary from the bank, but I haven't been able to stop the growth. It just has organically been coming through, which is, you know, amazing, but it's a different headache. It's not worrying about when you're going to get paid. It's like, well, how do I manage the leads that I get and still provide the same type of experience that I provided when I only had a couple of customers? So it's hard, but yeah, it's been great.
Oh, that's very exciting. A little pause in the show to again thank today's episode sponsor, APC Home Loans. home loans don't have to feel overwhelming, especially when you've got the right support. Aimee from APC Home Loans works closely with small business owners, working parents, and first home buyers to make the process simple and stress-free. If you're thinking about refinancing or buying, get in touch with Aimee at APC Home Loans and start the conversation today.
Should we get into the first home buyer questions?
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's wanting to get into the market, what would your top tips be to them?
Probably sounds
Like a broken record.
like a broker record. Speak to a broker, start the conversation early. We'll have people that'll come in and they'll be like, this is where I'm up to. This is what I was thinking that I was going to do. And I was like, no, don't do that. You need to focus on doing this instead. Whether it's, okay, well, don't pay off your debt, but, save a bigger deposit or do something different. So it just kind of puts you ahead on knowing what the right plan is, because it's not like we get taught finance at school. They don't go, this is what you should do to get into a house. So why not ask an expert? And it's free. So, there's not a cost to do it. So why not? I'd say that's your biggest one. And then I think being realistic with what you buy as well. It's like you don't have to buy the biggest house to begin with. Like you've got to be comfortable. I say to clients, don't get something that you're going to come back in 12 months and be like, I hate it.
Yeah.
I want to do this again, because no one wants to do this again. So just be realistic with what your goals are. It doesn't have to be, it has to be a starting point. And there are so many incentives and things that are available for people to get into the market. Unless you know what they are, like how do you plan to get there?
Yeah, exactly.
So Avo toast, we can still do that.
Yep. People come to me.
When that came out, and they're like,
all these millennials are never going to buy their house
because they keep
all
eating
having
avocado toast.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure a breakfast here and there.
Yeah,
Not
but it's funny because people still have that misconception. People will come to me and they're like, oh, look, we didn't reach out because, our spending's been really bad. And I'm like, oh, okay, like what's your bad spending? Like, have you got really bad gambling or something that's a red flag? They're like, oh, no, we have been having 2 coffees a day. And I'm like, right, okay, you can enjoy life and still have a home loan.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't...
Like, wait, let me pull up my file for Emily. I'll show you bad spending.
Well, I mean, you just got to be able to afford it. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's...
We literally scrounged every last dollar to buy our first home. And I remember when we went to it, we did see a broker. And they came back and said something like the spending, which was accurate, was like less than what they would consider like normal. So we had to actually say it was more.
And people don't realise that. They've got a minimum.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
they
you've-
were
you're like
just
scrounging,
putting
they're like wrong.
I only
Yeah.
found this out recently when I went through Aimee, and Billy's spending is very, very low. And she's like, they're just going to put it in at a minimum anyway,
So just put some of your spending over to him.
basically.
Well, it's a household. So Emily gets to spend more if he gets to spend less.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
That works in your favour.
yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, yep, more shopping. Woohoo.
yeah.
So what's the biggest mistake that people make? Like when they're thinking like, okay, we're going to buy our first home, we're going to start saving, we're going to start eating 2-minute noodles. Like what's the biggest mistake that people make?
I don't know if it's a mistake, but I think it's just that misinformation. Or people are like social media. I'm on these groups and people will ask a question like, oh, how much deposit do I need for my first home? And people are like 20%. Like you cannot go to the bank unless you've got 20%. I'm like, why would you tell people that? Like that is wrong. So I would say don't listen to someone that's not
Doing it.
Qualified.
Yeah, don't go on. I mean, yes, social media is great. There is brokers. There are people that are providing information.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, oh, I asked ChatGPT and ChatGPT told me this. And I'm like, well, take it with a grain of salt. Like, there's probably some part of truth in there, but it's not personalised to you.
Yeah.
So speaking to an expert, just don't get advice.
Straight away. Yeah, that's such good advice. I tell people the same thing. They'll come in, the influencer told me that I need to do this, this and this to my skin because that's what she does.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, you guys don't have
your
the
skin.
same skin. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just get the professional to
Yeah,
look
go
after
see a
you.
professional.
Yeah.
And like I said, it is free. So it's
That's
not
right.
like you're losing anything. You don't have to pay to have a conversation.
And you might have a better outcome.
Yeah.
Because you've got time to work and to do something different.
Like, it sounds like you might be able to achieve that goal way sooner.
Oh,
than,
there's
like,
so
if
many.
You think you need 20%.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, that's going to take me 4 years. And then you're like, no, we can like sort this out with,
And it happens a lot.
Emily's spending habits.
it happens a lot. People will come and be like, I know I'm probably not ready. Like, we'll buy in 6 or 12 months. And, you know, the first call we call like our discovery call, where we're going through and we're checking like how much is your deposit, what's your income, what's your spending, like that type of basic stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it looks good. And they're like, what do you mean it looks good? I mean, like, you can buy a house. Like, what, right now? If you want to, yeah, you can. And they're like, I thought this was going to be 12 months away.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And then like, okay, send me the forms. And then a week later, they're like, I found a house.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
exciting.
Yeah, I know. But they're
So
like, we had
exciting.
no idea that this was going to be achievable.
Yeah, because you can even like you know, I come to you in a sort of a different scenario where we'd already found the property. We have, you know, other properties, so we were, you know, trying to see if we could get finance to do that. But they can even come and have a conversation to see how much they can go to. So then what like properties they can purchase and
Like
things
what
like
might
that.
be in their budget.
Yeah. Like what budget?
but
They might not even know what budget they're working
That's right.
with, you know.
And that's what they should do.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why we do pre-approvals in these conversations, is to get that confidence with what can I borrow, and to check the things, because what we say you can borrow, you might not be comfortable with. So, you know, we talk about expenses and the bank does set a minimum, but if you spend over the minimum, we don't want you to state the minimum. We want you to tell the truth, because we don't want to affect your living. I don't want to come back and say, no, you can't go on a holiday once a year and take the kids, or you can't do that. So, you know, we try and make sure we understand what is that limit, so you go out and buy something within your budget.
Yeah.
Is there like, I suppose that's like for different goals too, because like say you've been enjoying that family holiday once a year, but then you now, you know, it might be
You're
a
willing
goal
to
change. So
reduce
you're
it.
willing to
Yeah.
not do that.
Yeah.
Like, is that,
Well,
that would help? Or?
Yeah, well, it's discretionary spending. So it's
Okay.
a conversation we have. So it's like, okay, well, you know, you might be getting an Uber Eats coffee every day, like I do. But
Does it
are
not
you?
spill?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I straight away I was like, Uber Eats
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've been working from home most of the time, so I'm like, well, I don't pay for parking, I don't pay for petrol.
This
So,
is true.
So I
you
pay
know,
for
if I
Uber.
get it,
Do you know the guy now? Like, he's like your coffee guy.
yes, sometimes. Yep, sometimes I'll actually stop at my house.
Nigel, thank you.
That's it. Well, I just say leave it at the door, because normally I'm in my pajamas still at this time.
I don't see anyone. Don't talk to me.
No, but the dogs are going off. But no, sometimes I'll leave a message and drop mine off first and be like, oh, well, we knew where you lived and this was your coffee, so we'll drop yours off first and go to the next person.
Oh,
so
cute.
yeah, I have a bit of a regular.
He's
But
like, gotta get coffee to Aimee.
she'll be cranky if she doesn't have it by 8.
love
But you know,
Nigel.
like it's a conversation, and it's
Yeah.
realistic. Like, are you going to give up Uber Eats every day? Oh, yeah, I could give up Uber Eats. I don't have to. I'm not buying a house, but
Yeah.
you know, we can look at discretionary spending. But if you say to me, look, you know what, oh God, you know, my insurance or my house insurance, what I might be able to save you $10. It's really not going to affect your
Yeah.
borrowing capacity.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, things
And they're
can
like
change.
things that you like need.
you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like it's a nice to have to go to be able to afford to go on a family holiday every year, but
Correct.
like, you know, do we want to continue doing that, or do we want to get into the property market? Like, these are the things. we've
Exactly.
gotta
And we don't
weigh
want
out.
people to go and cancel their insurance.
No.
You know, because that is going to be a disaster in itself. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you need to have house insurance if
Exactly.
we're giving you a loan with
Yeah.
the security. We want it insured.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I know that you said before, like you might not need a 20% deposit. And I know that, you know, there might be some first home buyers listening and they just want to know what is the magic number?
Yeah.
How much do they need?
Yes.
Or is it not as simple as that?
No, it's a magic number. Well, it's a magic number because there's a government initiative. So the magic number is you need a minimum of a 5% deposit.
Okay.
There are property caps though, so there is a maximum you can buy for. So don't come back and say, well, you said I could buy 5% and I want to buy a $2 million house. It's not what it's there for. It's to help people get into the market.
Yeah.
So there used to be income caps. So we used to say you could only earn this much. That's gone now too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so not a lot of eligibility.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5%. And then you've also got a lot of the stamp duty waivers as well.
Yeah.
So you also most of the time don't need to pay stamp duty.
Wow.
So really we say, you
Be
know,
a first home buyer.
I know, right? It's, I shouldn't say it's the easiest time to get in the market because, you know, prices are high.
Yeah.
Cost of living is high, those type of things. But from a deposit perspective, they are trying to help people with getting in with a smaller deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the Eurobodalla, because that's where the majority of our listeners are, what is that cap?
800,000.
Yeah. And is it on new builds, house and lands, anything?
Anything.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a dwelling, or you could buy land with that?
Oh, look, it becomes a little bit complex. You've got to build within particular time frames and things like that. And then the banks don't love it under this scheme because we have particular scheme loans. So not all lenders will do or participate in the scheme.
Okay.
They want to see the contracts come together rather than individually. So it does make it a bit harder if it's land. But if you want to do land and a build and you've got that ready to go, 100% we can look at it.
Yeah. But you can't spend 800 on a block.
No, because then you can't build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we go to self-employed?
Yeah.
I think we've answered.
Yeah.
So why is it harder for business owners and self-employed people to get a loan?
I think because most of the time we look at historical information where, like, you know, you go and you get a full-time job.
Yeah.
You can walk in and have a payslip. We know that you're going to earn $80,000 a year. It's not going to change. We're through business. Are you going to earn $80,000 a year? We don't know.
Yeah.
We have to look at what it is historically, which can be a little bit harder. And I guess there's a bit more complexity around it as well. So you want to really get someone that's going to understand, okay, well, this is why the business did great one year and not the other year. And, you know, can the broker mitigate it enough to the bank to accept 1 year's financial or to understand, okay, this is not an ongoing thing or something like that. So it's a bit more complexity around it.
So what can business owners do to make their future borrowing easier?
Talk to a broker.
It's basically the same advice. Let's just end this here.
We'll just end.
That's right. Well, I guess the other thing is too is, you know, you get clients that will come that'll be self-employed and they're like, so, you know, we do our financials so that we, you know, we don't show any money, we don't make any money on paper, but now I want to get a home loan. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to work with? Because I can understand that you're doing it from a tax perspective, you want to minimize tax, but also you've got to be able to show that you can afford it. So, you know, it's got to make sense to the bank. So if you're showing me that, you know, you're paying yourself a 20 grand wage or a 40 grand wage and you've got no profit in the business, it's very hard for me then to go and get you to buy a house. You can
prove that.
Correct. So something to think about. But, you know, if you have that conversation as well, there are so many lenders that do, you know, self-employed and they all do them differently. It might be a matter of, okay, well, you know, if you want to do it that way, we'll look at it that way, but let's look at a lender that will look at, you know, your BAS statements or something, you know, a little bit different and be a little bit more snazzier with the way that we present it. But you're not going to know that unless you talk to someone.
When I went for a loan early in my self-employed years, I can't remember what it was, but is there an amount of years that you're meant to be in business before you would be able to get a loan?
So normally, normally it's 2 years.
Okay.
But there are some lenders that will do 18 months.
Okay.
And look, you know, by discretion, even 12 months, really.
Yeah.
Like if it makes sense. Let's say, for example, you know, the type of occupation that you are. Like, let's say you're contracting as a beauty therapist and you've got a clientele and then you go and you decide to do the same thing but under an ABN. Well, then, you know, it's not like you're going from being a chef to a beauty therapist. So, you know, we could probably mitigate. Your clientele's not going to change. Your location's not going to change. We assume you're going to still generate the same amount of income.
Yeah.
So we'd look at a shorter period of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just
that
depends.
personal approach.
Correct.
Yeah. And what type of paperwork would like a business owner need to be able to provide? So what should I sort of, you know, I love when I go to a meeting, sometimes I really struggle to understand the numbers of my own business. I've worked really hard over the years to understand the numbers of my own business, but you think you've got all the stuff together. So when I come to see you to get my loan, like what would I bring from my business numbers that you would be interested in seeing?
Yeah. So compliantly, as a broker, we have to collect all your business financials. So depending if you're a sole trader or a company, you can have a different level of financial information. So we do get all of those. We can work with your accountant as well. Like, I don't know where mine are saved or where mine are. So I'm like, just talk to my accountant. So look, we can do that. But the other thing is too, some lenders now have simple self-employed policies.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're, for example, a company and you're paying yourself a wage and you've consistently been doing that, we can actually use that and treat you as an individual.
Oh, rather than a company.
Yep.
Incredible.
I know. So
maybe I'll go buy another house.
that's right. Easy. So easy.
She's always on sales, isn't she?
You're not going to build with me.
What is she selling?
Well, if I build, I'll build you. But
Well, we won't be friends. Matt loses his job.
wouldn't be very good if we built with someone else.
No, definitely not.
We probably won't get the loan.
Probably won't.
And we decline her.
And then she comes to us and we're like, oh, you can approve it now, Aimee.
No, she's good now.
She's actually really good. Are there any financial red flags that we should sort out as business owners before we come and see you? Like, what are you going to flag? What are you going to be like?
What are the lenders going to be like, red flag?
No, look, I don't think from the business as such. Look, it's just got to make sense.
More the personal side.
The personal side. If you've got high liabilities, bad credit, and you've got a $200 every day ATM withdrawal at the local club. It's every day. It's a red flag with a conversation on if the business is not tracking well and financially this is the type of habits we can see. The bank's like, is this someone we really want to give money to?
Yeah. And this is like a bit backtracking. I don't know if people realise that there's not just the big banks that they can.
Oh, yeah. Who else is there?
There's heaps, isn't there?
Yeah. So you've got your first tier lenders, which are, your majors, and then you get your second tier lenders, and you get the small credit unions and that. And you've even got your third tier lenders, which are your ones that will even take people with bad credit or ATO debt or something that's kind of,
A bit risky.
A bit risky.
And is that just Billy Bob in his back shed that's inherited $40 million? I'm going to be on the third tier lender.
No, well, they're still they still have to have all the credibility. But for example, Pepper Finance. Pepper Finance will look at clients with bad history, or and it might not even be bad. It could be that you are 6 months self-employed. And they're happy to kind of take the risk. They're a solution-based lender.
Okay.
So we put you in there while you kind of get to the point you need to then take you back to that top.
Because they have other sort of...
We pay for it.
I was going to say.
It's a higher rate to get you what you need. But sometimes, we have had people, I had someone, they had quite a large tax debt. And it was because there was a bit of structural change. They were in agriculture, so, it's very volatile. They'd got themselves a little bit into a pickle. And we, used one of those smaller lenders to be able to consolidate the debts into their, security property. So they could get a, cheaper rate or whatever. And even though it wasn't the cheapest rate, it was enough to be able to get them with what they need and out of that pickle. And we've now refinanced them out to a major lender and saved 1% on their interest rate. So solution based.
Is any industry or any business harder than others, or they're all similar?
Yeah, I think, as mentioned before, which is why it's not numbers. It's got to work on paper, but it's about also understanding, the client and the type of industry or whatever that they are, and why they might have, sales really strong one quarter and sales not so strong the next quarter or whatever. So it's really just understanding.
So
I think we're all empowered to go.
I know.
Get our finances sorted. And
Yeah.
Give it your buzz when we're
Like,
not.
yeah, I know. It's,
So outside of all of this,
Yeah.
what do you do with yourself?
Well, not much, right?
Yeah, I'm on the phone to this one.
Yeah. Look, I'm down the coast quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I've still got family here. I bring my little one down. So
How
that's
old?
nice. And we go, for a walk along the beach and those type of things.
So
and
romantic.
yeah, I mean, look, just normal things that people like.
Yeah.
Glass of wine.
Yeah.
Some fine dining here and there. So yeah, but
it's not
nothing
too bad in
exciting.
Canberra too.
Yeah. Oh, we have such nice restaurants and things.
And
Yeah.
how do you juggle mum life and work life? Do you juggle, or it's
It's
all
hard.
fucking chaos?
Yeah, it's pretty chaos. But so when I first started, obviously, it's all about getting the clients in. So what I was doing was I was making sure that when my son got home that I was present between, let's say, 4:30 and 7:30. So I did no appointments at that time. And then I opened from 7:30 to 8:30. So I do a late night appointment when he went to bed. So my partner would then help him with bed. I got to spend that time with him.
Yeah.
And then I'd go back and work again to kind of make it work.
Yeah.
When now I've been a bit more luckier that I've got enough clientele where I'm like, look, I need to get people to work within my time frames now. So I'm not doing 7:30. Plus I'm buggered now because we are so busy. If you're getting me at 7:30,
You're not
I'm
getting
not
the
going to
best
be
version.
giving you the best version of myself.
You're like alone for you.
Are you dreaming? Denied.
Oh,
Right. This
Yeah.
is just not going to happen.
exactly. So I try and shut off. I've got two phones, so you'll always see me. People are like, why have you got two phones? And it's because for me, it's hard for me to switch off. So
Yeah.
if someone's messaging me at 9:00 saying, hey, can you check my borrowing capacity because I want to go again?
Yeah.
I'm replying back.
Yeah.
So I try and keep that separate. I don't work weekends. If people are like, can I have a weekend appointment? I'm like, sorry, like I don't do that unless it's a really great client that I've had for years and that's all that they can work with. Like I get that. But overall, I just try and keep those
And I feel like
boundaries.
most people, like, if you're like, no, I don't work weekends, well, they're going to be able to take an hour or two out of their day
Do you
at
think?
some other time.
Okay. I beg to differ.
But the other
No.
the other thing is
You have
too.
Thursdays, babe.
Yeah, and I've already received text messages from clients today and calls.
Yeah, but they know that you're not there today.
No, they're like long-term clients, and I've said,
Oh, but you work on Saturday. Oh,
no,
wait.
today, like
Oh,
today,
on your
Thursday.
day off.
Yeah, on my day
Yeah.
off. And I've had to remind them, hey, don't work today.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I get messages at like 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think my frown line needs doing. I'm like, what are you doing right now? Yeah.
Do you think it's hard to stick to those boundaries?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I answered it for you.
Because, and look, it's hard for any business owner to have boundaries. But when we're doing finance or first home buyers or whatever, it's such an emotional process. So like, I feel bad if someone's like, I've got an approval, it's 7:00 at night. And, I know that they're sitting there shaking in their chair. Like, am I going to get this approved? Where I just want to pick up the phone and ring them and, be like, hey, guess what?
And that's that relationship side of things. Like, you feel it with them.
100%.
Yeah. So you want to do everything.
And also if you've got good news too, like,
I know.
like it's like a first home buyer and you've got the loan through for this property they've found, like
how exciting.
how exciting.
I
You
know.
want to share that, but like having that boundary to be like, because I find too that once you break that with a particular client, they continue to expect it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like I'll often, I messaged a friend the other week to book an appointment. I thought she was back at work and I was like, hey, can I book in? I won't like go into what it was. And then she was like, oh, I'm not back at work until next week. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Your earwax cleaning?
Yeah, my earwax cleaning. No, it was my toenail clipping.
Oh, yeah.
Emergency. I need to get
really-
in ASAP.
Because you get that gunk stuck in there,
Yeah,
don't you?
it's so disgusting,
Yeah.
right? You've done it for me before, haven't you, Sheldon? With your tongue.
What the fuck?
No, if you must know, I was trying to book a hair appointment for Callie to go to her hair trimmed.
It's fine. I'm just trying to take the piss. Actually,
But I always try and be conscious of
their time.
as well. Like most people, and I know that we're business owners, so it's most people work 9 to 5. So I just try and respect that they're like okay hours to message people about business questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
or the disclaimer, like if you send an email, like I'll often send emails to like my reps or something late at night or like after hours, and I'll be like, this is my convenient time. I do not expect a reply till hours. And then like if they see it, they'll see that and be like, oh, she doesn't want to hear back from me.
Yeah. But I find that a lot of people don't have that respect.
No, same respect.
It's hard, and especially because social media is so big now.
Yeah, and they see us on there at 7 p.m.
If I'm posting content at 7:30 p.m, people are like, oh, she's on. I'm like, no, I've actually just scheduled it to do that. But people then expect a response. So,
100%.
you know, on the voicemail that I've got now, it's like if you have rung after 5:30, like, we'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to think, well, why is she not answering back? I want for them to know that that is my cutoff time. But, you know, if it was an emergency or something came up and I need to do it quickly, then, you know, obviously I would try and do that. But also, I've got a family. We've got boundaries. I wouldn't ring my accountant at 7 o'clock at night and be like, why are you not answering me? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm a professional. I've got to have that respect as well.
Yeah. Do you ever feel mum guilt, and how do you manage this feeling?
100%.
Yeah.
It's hard. I think anyone that works feels mum guilt. And for me too, being that 9 till 5 and having to be available for people, it's hard. Like my son's in before school care, after school care. So we try not to obviously do 6 till 6 p.m. or anything like that. But I still feel guilty doing that. But it's at a point where I'm like, well, I don't know what else I can do. Like I've got to do this to make it work. And if I don't make it work, then you know, I don't get to do all the things that, you know, we want to do together as a family and say, okay, well, we can afford to do this because it's relying on the income and things that I make. So it's a really, like, you feel like you toss between, you know, two things and you want to be this, you know, independent woman and, you know, make money and all that type of stuff. And then it's also like, but I also want to be a mum and I want to take that time where I can completely shut off and be present. So a lot of the time, you know, I'll be like, oh, I feel like I wasn't present then. Like, I've got to go out and do this. And my partner's like, no, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be, you know, present all the time. And I'm like, but I feel really guilty because I've only got this 3-hour window between when the time that he goes to bed. And like, I'm worrying about, am I going to get this file settled on time? So it's hard.
So hard.
I saw a picture of him recently.
Oh, yes.
Sitting at is that your new desk?
Yeah.
In your new building?
New building.
Congratulations.
Yep, crazy. Thank you.
God, that's incredible. Well done.
We recently spoke on the pod about how these like moments are really special but important for our children to see. How important do you think having the kids around your son around the business is to his upbringing and like seeing you as like a woman in business from a little boy's point of view?
Yeah, and I think it probably stems from like both my parents are business owners and like my dad you know, had a business where he was always at work and he was always, though, doing the best that he could to try and give us the best. And he would always say to me, like, you know, you got to work hard. You've got to do these things. Like, you need to be independent. You need to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. So that if anything ever happens, like, you'll be okay. And I think it's probably just something that I've just carried with me for, you know, all my life. So anytime that I do something, I'm always like, well, I've got to give this 100% because it's not worth doing something if you're not going to put your all in it. So I want my son to see that. I want for him to see that if you're going to do something, like, do it really well. And if you do it really well,
it pays off.
So,
I'm really big at, like, you know, telling my kids, like, I'm going to work and, like, I'm doing that so that we have this. Like, you know, I'm not just going there because, like, I don't want to be with you. Like, and then taking them there and, like, you know, Ollie can tell you what most of my machines do because he's been so involved in it.
And they're excited. Like, we walk past, you know, we take the dogs for a walk and he'll be like, did you do the loan for that house? Did you do the loan for that house?
Yes.
And I'm like, he gets it. I'm like, I help people buy homes. Like, I let people, you know, have that achievement. And, you know, he's excited for that.
So cool.
I'm going to do some rapid fire
before
we finish up.
I think some of them have been answered. But
I do too.
I'll just do
but
a quick.
We'll just do true or false. No. Yeah. Just true or false rapid fire.
I read some of them, so I'll be like, maybe.
Okay. You need a 20% deposit to buy a home.
False.
Self-employed people can't get home loans easily.
False.
A mortgage broker costs the client money.
False, but can.
Yeah. You should always go to your own bank first.
False.
Your borrowing power is based on only your income.
False.
Changing jobs automatically ruins your loan application.
False.
First home buyers should wait until the market crashes.
False.
Having a credit card always hurts your borrowing power.
True.
You can't get a loan in your first year of being self-employed.
It's difficult, but it can be done.
Maximizing tax deductions helps your loan application.
False.
Yeah. Refinancing is only worth it if the interest rate drops.
False.
Brokers only work with a handful of lenders.
False.
Pre-approval guarantees you'll get the loan.
False.
Casual and contract workers can't get approved.
False.
A bigger deposit always means a better loan.
False, but sometimes you can get a better rate.
You must have 2 full years of tax returns to apply.
False.
Lenders average self-employed income over multiple years.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends on the
Yeah,
lender.
it depends on the lender.
Yeah. Business owners should stop spending before applying.
False.
Oh yeah, we just somehow function with nothing.
Yeah. No materials, no stock this week.
yeah.
We're going for a home
No
loan.
wages, I'm not paying
that's right.
I'm really sorry, we've got no skincare.
Yeah, that's
but I'm
right.
gonna
But I'm getting a home loan, so expenditure needs to go down.
Cash flow matters more than one big income year.
Dependent.
Being self-employed automatically limits your lender options.
False.
To finish.
Done. Boom.
Cool. Easy.
Some good info there, though.
Yeah. There was like no
so
real
good.
true ones though. Isn't
Yeah.
it funny though? Because that's
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
misconceptions. Like
That's it.
people
Yeah.
think those things.
Yeah.
I know, people must come to you and then just like mind blown walk out like, oh my god.
I know. But it's great
this,
because then they love
whole
me.
universe
Yeah.
opens up. Like,
Yeah, literally. And then they're so excited. They're like, I found a house already. I'm like, what? I just gave you this
Wow, I haven't
information.
even put it in the computer.
Yeah, literally. They're like all homes that afternoon. Like they've found the dream house.
Yeah.
So,
Pump the brakes, Betty.
yeah, that's right. Like, how quick can you do this? I'm like, oh my gosh, we haven't even got your paperwork.
You didn't even fill in your form.
That's right. You told me 12 months.
Wow, that's
and now
better than me.
it's 12 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
Or like you didn't even talk.
Oh, yeah.
Found it and then went.
I know. Just text her.
She's like, oh,
Text
Aimee
the
will
link.
get it done. Whatever. No pre-approval.
I've already told the agent that we're buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already put an offer in.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
it.
Billy rang him, but...
Oh my goodness. Do you have a quote that you live by?
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
I like that one.
Love it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice that you've ever received.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh, love. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And
Yeah.
I think being like
You're
a business
nailing this.
owner
Yeah.
or like starting something, you have to be. And
Yeah.
like, as I said, with social media and, you know, a lot of brokers and that are on social media, if you put yourself out there, you're putting yourself out there for judgment.
Yes.
You're putting yourself out there. If you do fail, people are going to see it. But you know what? If you don't put yourself out there, guess what? You're not going to be successful.
No.
Yeah.
You might have the best coffee, but if no one knows where your cafe is,
Yeah.
how do they try the coffee?
No.
How do they know it's the best?
So true.
If you weren't running APC Home Loans, what would you be doing? This is Shelby's favourite question.
I love it.
Oh, really?
What are you doing?
Much to my family's disgust, I would have loved to be a tattoo artist.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I love art. I've always been creative. You know, I used to draw. Like I got an art
Yeah.
scholarship, those type of things. You know,
Yes.
so I was like, I want to do art. I want to do tattoos and all that stuff. And my parents were like, no, you stay at the bank and you get a good career and you know, which it makes sense. And back then, like when I was 21, like
Yeah.
tattoos were taboo. Like who would have a tattoo? I remember getting my first one and my mum was like, oh my gosh. I won't tell you what she said after that as well, but
Get it off.
yeah, kind of that. Yeah,
More colourful.
correct. So you know, I would have loved to do that as well, but I guess, you know, now instead I just get my own tattoos and
They
just
make a lot of
it-
money
Oh,
now.
I
Yeah,
know.
they're
And the tattoos are
big.
beautiful that they do. You
Beautiful.
know, it is actually now a proper like
It's
art.
a form
Yeah.
of
You know?
art. They're
Yeah.
so clever.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something shocking about yourself or something we don't know?
Oh God, I don't know.
I want to be a tattoo artist.
That's a,
Sorry,
yeah,
Mum.
sorry, I'm leaving. There is a tattoo studio running through the new office. No, jokes. Imagine.
But you start getting calls.
That's right. Do
APC tattoos.
Do you do fairy tattoos?
So while you're getting your home loan, we can also give you a tattoo.
But only dollar bills.
Yeah, that's right. So No, like not really. I guess, you know, as I said, a lot of people will have that misconception with me that, you know, you love numbers and you're, you know, very finance driven, where, as I said, I'm not. Like, you know, before, when I had my baby, I went and did a nail certificate. Went and did nails, and I was like, you know, once again, I'm being creative, I'm doing you know, all that type of stuff, and people are like, oh really, like that's such a different you know, different feel. But as I always say, it's not about that, it's relationships and creativity.
Thank you so much for
That's
joining
okay.
us
Thank
today.
you for
This has
having
been
me.
so informative.
It
and
really
fun.
has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I hate numbers too, so I was like,
Oh, she better not be boring.
I was like a home loans person.
Yeah.
I was like,
Why would you have them?
I was like, I guess.
Well, thanks to Em for supporting me. I was like, God.
I jumped in with it straight away.
So I don't think you should contact Aimee for a loan.
Now that I know the
I'll
truth.
be with the third tier people. Not because I need it, just because.
Yeah, I'm giving her a worse interest rate.
Amy's going to send you a quote because you're going to be hard work.
No, we like learned that we have to sign that she's in our best interest thing.
After I charge you a fee. I'll be like, yeah, if you want me to do your loan, it's a $2,000 fee.
You know, like it's such a misconception, but like it's sort of this thing that like accountants, financial advisors, like banking, like they're known to be like not very fun. But
No.
you've
I'm
completely
Yeah.
that bubble.
Yeah.
This is so much fun, and I love it
good.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
You're
so
most
much for coming
welcome.
on the pod.
Yeah, thanks for
thanks for having
coming
me.
down and chatting with us. If you want to contact Aimee, we'll put her details somewhere on the screen or in the show notes. And do you want to wrap up, Shel?
Thanks so much for listening. And if you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star review, like the podcast, share the podcast, follow the podcast, do all the things.
Follow
please,
us on Instagram, all the
because it
socials.
helps us grow and more ears can listen to us.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Till next time.
Bye. Catch ya.